Every day we work to get stronger. This is how we come together. This is how we fight. We are UB. Bull Jacks, offense, ready! Bull Jack, defense, ready! Ready!
The Bulls are ready!
Jackson rolled to the left. Jackson flips it. Jonathan Hawkins, he's got the Buffalo touchdown. Holly rolls to the left, looking to throw. He gets hit, he gets sacked. On the backside, it's Jordan Collier with the Bulls sack on defense. Snap, spot, kick on the way, and it is good! Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the season debut of UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold. My name is Paul Peck. We are here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, as part of Mid-American Conference Media Day. Lance, what a great way to get the season kicked off in one of the most historic places for everything that has to do with your sport.
Absolutely. Well, what a great venue. What a great experience for all of us to have a chance to be here in Canton and see what all the history, nostalgia, everything that goes along with the game of football. And it's going to be an exciting day.
You and a couple of your players got a chance to get an exclusive tour of the facility as part of MAC Media Day. What jumped out at you? Was there anything in there that really surprised you, or something that I know the Packers are near and dear to your heart? Was there a Curly Lambeau moment there for you?
There's a couple of, you kind of go through, you just even the part about the cards, you know, football cards and the history. And I look back at ones when I was a youngster collecting them, and then you go through and you look at the history, whether it be the Packers, and then of course all the history that's really with the Buffalo Bills as well, that really stands out. And you start walking through all the busts and all the people that have been inducted to this thing. It really tries to hit home what a great football community we live in Buffalo.
I think you and I have talked a lot about the fact that you're a diehard Packers fan because you grew up in Wisconsin, but I don't know that everybody knows that you're actually an owner, one of many owners of the Packers. You get any special freedom here in this place?
I tried not to pull any, power play on anybody or anything there, but no, I probably should have showed my stockholders card there. But that's kind of a neat thing. It's kind of special in Green Bay, being the only public owned franchise in the NFL. But again, what a great experience to see all this. Highly recommend for people to come down and take a look at it.
Yeah, and later in the show, we're going to talk with Tyree Jackson and Damone Harris about their experiences. I really think they got a sense of the history of the sport that they play. We'll talk to them about it in a couple of minutes. But as camp is underway, you're obviously shifting gears to football, but tell everybody about some rather interesting adventures you had during the course of the summer.
Well, as our summers kind of keep getting condensed with recruiting and camps and doing those things, we all have to find some time to get back to our families. And our family had a chance to make a few trips. After Memorial Day weekend, we did a little whale watching out in the Boston area. We had a chance to go to Minnesota, watch my daughter play in a national volleyball tournament, and see some friends back in Wisconsin quickly. And then we went to Florida and had a chance to do an excursion swimming with dolphins and a little beach time. So we had a great time as a family. That's precious time as we find out our daughter's a senior and how fast time goes, and we try to squeeze a lot in a short period of time.
All right, so whales and dolphins, but now your focus has shifted to the Gophers because the Minnesota season opener is coming up on the 31st. So let's talk a little bit about football. Camp is underway now. Obviously, that's the time when everybody's mind shifts to the start of the season. And there are some key players for you coming up this season and that I know you want to touch on a little bit. And let's start with maybe the most important of them all. That's the nature of the quarterback position. But I think through the experience here in Canton and through the beginning of camp, you've seen a lot out of Tyree Jackson as far as him maturing a little bit.
Yeah, I think, Paul, it's exciting. I think that's one of the things when you really get into coaching at the beginning, it's watching young men develop. whether it be from grade school as they go through in high school ranks, and of course watching young men come on your campus become men. And watching Tyree now going into year 3 and watching his confidence and his presence, not just on the field, command of the offense, but watch how he conducts himself in the weight room, in the classroom, and really being the leader of our program has really been an enjoyable, and we've got exciting times ahead of us with him.
And speaking of leaders of your program, he's kind of the grizzled veteran, and that's Damone Harris. And again, he carries himself, as we saw here in Canton, knowing that it's part of his job to lead the way.
Yes, and another young man right from Buffalo came in as a walk-on. That's part of the great stories of college football. A guy who comes in, didn't have a scholarship from the start, earns it, keeps working hard, does a lot of things behind the scenes that people never see to make himself a better player. And again, we have 2 fine representatives with us.
And a nice preseason honor for another one of your key players and one of your veteran leaders, and that's James O'Hagan, your starting center, named to the Remington Award watch list as one of the best centers in the country. What does an award like that mean to you as a coaching staff and to a player?
Well, again, it's more about what it's for the player, because it shows his hard work and dedication's paid off. He's been a very steady performer for us. He anchors that offensive line, being his 3rd year now, right in the middle, making the calls. But the nice thing is that his peers and other people that look at this around the country notice his hard work inside the trenches.
All right, well, we're going to talk to Tyree and Damone coming up in just a moment. But Lance, thank you. A great way to get the season started off. We've had a fun trip here to Canton, Ohio, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it's time for camp, and I know you're going to be busy.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here, Paul. This has been great.
All right, much more coming up here on our season debut of UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold as we continue from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
Buffalo sports fans, get to UB Stadium this fall for tailgating, live music, and great UB football action. Where else can you see hard hits, thrilling catches, and enjoy live music by national recording acts like Jana Kramer, Gin Blossoms, Better Than Ezra, and more. Bring the whole family and come cheer on the Bulls this season. For tickets and more information, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
This segment of UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold is brought to you by CEFCU. For all your banking, insurance, and investment needs, visit your local branch or go to cefcu.com.
Well, welcome back to UB Football Insider as we continue at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and I am now joined by 2 Hall of Fame dressers here as it relates to MAC Media Day. The 2 best-dressed guys in the Mid-American Conference, quarterback Tyree Jackson, defensive end Damone Harris. You guys are part of this Mid-American Conference Media Day, but also got the chance to get your first look at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Tyree, I'll start with you. What was that experience like for you?
I thought it was a really good experience. I mean, being a football player, it's like a little kid in a candy shop walking around there. And then you look around and you see all the guys from the Mid-American Conference. So that just makes you more hungry and more excited about playing in this conference and the opportunities you get to play on the next level.
And, of course, the guy who played your position, Damone, is the next Mid-American Conference guy who has gone into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's Jason Taylor of Akron. But what was your experience like here?
Right. I mean, like picking back what Tyree said, I feel like a little kid in a candy shop. It's just exciting to see all the historic guys that have laid the groundwork for us to play the game today. Very excited to see guys, like you said, like Jason Taylor from Akron, guy from the MAC that can, really put our conference on the map. To have him in the Hall of Fame is great.
You had a chance to meet him,
Right, yeah.
What was that like?
It was great. He gave us some good advice. Sat at the table with him last night. We talked at dinner, and we just, he just gave us some great advice, stuff about life, stuff about his experiences in the NFL, and it was really a great experience.
As a Buffalo guy, you're really not supposed to like a former Dolphins great,
right, exactly. Right. So it was a bittersweet moment for me.
Now, Tyree, I know you grew up in Michigan, but you told me that you're actually a Packers fan.
Yeah.
So what was it like seeing some Brett Favre stuff in there and seeing some of those great Packer moments? Who are the the Packers are obviously ingrained in the history of the NFL.
Oh, yeah, it was really nice. Before I came here, like, the highlight I wanted to see was just Brett Favre, the Brett Favre had, like, all that stuff. So coming here and seeing that and then seeing some Aaron Rodgers stuff was really neat. And it's definitely something that I'll remember forever.
All right, I got to think for you guys, one of the more interesting moments of your tour of the Hall of Fame was when you walk into the current players section, and there it is, pretty prominently displayed, the number 52 Raiders that says Mac on the back. What does that mean to you as a Buffalo player? You guys both know Khalil. You played with him. How's that connection for you guys?
I think sometimes when we see him around the building and see him in the facilities and stuff, we don't really think about, like, he's really going to end up being a Hall of Fame defensive end. And just to see him here, it's just real humbling, and just to know that he came to our school and that we'll have the same opportunities one day if we work hard is just really nice, and I think it's a neat experience.
You overlapped with him in your freshman year, Damone. What do you remember about it? What have you maybe tried to take from what you saw Khalil do that senior year?
I mean, he was, like you said, he was a great player. Probably the greatest player to ever come out of UB, for sure. And to see his memorabilia in the Hall of Fame already after he only been in the league for a couple of years is great. So, I mean, playing with him was great. You know, that team in 2013 was a great experience. We were on a 7-game win streak, I believe. And you know, he was a great guy, great teammate. You know, and not just a great player, he was a great teammate.
I know you really enjoyed seeing a lot of the Bills memorabilia, the busts
Right.
of Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, Thurman
Right.
Thomas,
Right.
Ralph Wilson, all those greats. As a Buffalo kid, there's a lot to see in here.
Right,
isn't there?
exactly. Yeah, I saw the bust of Bruce Smith. You know, got really excited because I used to always watch highlights of Bruce Smith. You know, he was a guy when I started playing defensive line in high school, I looked up to. Being in Buffalo, had multiple 20-sack seasons, and you know, he's just a great Hall of Fame player.
Have these guys converted you to now make the Bills be your AFC team?
No.
At least no.
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 Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
You got to work on it for that.
Not
So,
yet.
here we are. Camp is underway for you guys. Just quickly give me a sense of where your level of excitement is to start this season.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll be a redshirt senior this upcoming 2017 season. And, you know, that right there is enough motivation that I need, because I mean, this might be my last time playing football. So, you know, I'm just excited to get back to camp, get back around my teammates more than anything. You know, I'm more of a team guy, not really an individual guy. So, I can't wait to get back with my teammates and get the ball rolling.
Tyree?
I think that it's really nice. I think everyone's really excited for the Minnesota game. Seeing guys like Damone and Jamal Island and our seniors go to work every day and work hard. As a redshirt sophomore and a younger guy, I mean, it really motivates me. You know, we want to send them out the right way and give them everything they deserve.
All right, well, have fun the rest of camp here. I know the guys enjoyed their trip here to Canton. All back, best dressed team, first team, both of these guys, Tyree and Damone Harris. We got much more coming up on UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold. We check in with Athletic Director Alan Green when the show returns from Canton, Ohio, right after this.
Buffalo sports fans, get to UB Stadium this fall for tailgating, live music, and great UB football action. Where else can you see hard hits, thrilling catches, and enjoy live music by national recording acts like Jana Kramer, Gin Blossoms, Better Than Ezra, and more? Bring the whole family and come cheer on the Bulls this season. For tickets and more information, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
This segment of UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold is brought to you by Town BMW, the official automotive partner of UB Athletics.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. We are just outside the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, as we tape this episode during the Mid-American Conference Media Day festivities, and now joined by Bulls Athletic Director Alan Green. Did you enjoy your chance to experience this place?
I feel like a kid again, Paul. It's been really, really cool.
Particularly for you, as a Seattle Seahawk fan, it's appropriate that last week one of the inductees was a guy you used to watch play, Kenny Easley.
Yeah, Kenny Easley. So being a Seahawks fan, not that we were even that good back in the late 80s, Yankees, but watching him play and the passion that he played with has resonated with me to this day. So it's great to see him on the wall up there.
It's pretty amazing that when you walk through this place, the amount of Buffalo references with obviously some of the great Bills, and then certainly your perspective as a Seattle fan, and then you walk into that current player segment, and there's number 52, Khalil Mack, giant picture on the wall, his jersey there. That has to make you feel pretty good.
Well, it was funny. I didn't realize his feet were so big. So that was the first thing I noticed. But, Khalil is referenced all over the place. He's been such a great ambassador for our football program and our university. And the city of Buffalo, people have taken tremendous pride in the fact that he's been able to accomplish what he's been accomplished, and we couldn't be more proud of him.
How important do you think it was for the players that were here, Damone Harris and Tyree Jackson, to understand a little bit of the history of the sport they play and maybe find a little motivation to try to figure out a way to get in here themselves?
Well, I think it gives you some humility, and it also gives you a better perspective on what past players had to go through in order to get to where they are today. And I think it's been an eye-opening experience to look at old playbooks, old rules, old footballs, old shoes, old equipment, and how much the game has progressed. So it's nothing but a learning experience and a great opportunity for these young men.
Every player that plays college football dreams about getting their chance to play in the NFL, and then ultimately the chance to be in here as well too. How much of a motivator is that for any athlete? You at your level probably thought Cooperstown was where you were going to wind up.
I remember being in high school thinking I was going to be a Hall of Fame baseball player, so I would expect nothing less from these guys. And I think it also shows that if you're in the Mid-American Conference, you can thrive in this league. You can become an outstanding NFL football player and even have the possibility of making it to the Hall of Fame.
Some great stats about that coming up in our next segment with MAC Commissioner John Steinbrecher. Let's talk football camp underway for the team, certainly gearing up to the season opener August 31st against Minnesota. And then after the first two on the road, back home opener on the 16th of September against Colgate. What do you got planned for everybody at Stampede Square and the concerts and all that other stuff this year?
Well, we're excited to bring back the concert series, get the Buffalo community tailgating, having fun, family-friendly environment, and then going into the stadium watching some exciting football.
Jana Kramer's got the concert on Stampede Square stage for the home opener on the 16th, and then the next game, the following week, Florida Atlantic. We're going to bring in the Gin Blossoms there. That has grown every year. We have seen it. What's your take on the impact that those pregame festivities have had?
Yeah, well, what we want to do is we want to talk about and show the vibrancy of college football. And I think that with the pageantry and having the concert series, it gives fans a real chance to just kind of relax, right? It's not crazy intense, but you get a chance to tailgate a little bit. You get to let the kids run around and enjoy some football. So I think it's just really exciting for the community in the city of Buffalo.
When the fans come to UB Stadium for that home opener on the 16th, they'll notice some new things at the stadium. If they get a chance to get inside the football facilities, they'll really notice some upgrades, even to the point when they head up to the Gusevich Club, the awesome 1958 display that comes off the elevator. But give everybody a little update on some of the changes that have gone on.
I think it's funny. A lot of people ask, well, what do you do in the summertime? Just kind of sit back and relax? Like, no, we're working. We're preparing for the fall. So like you mentioned, the 58 team, because we did some things downstairs, we had to move that display. We moved it upstairs and made it outstanding, thanks to VSP and some of their work. We've also made some enhancements to the locker room and new carpeting, new lighting, so to give the players, I guess, a fresh look when they come back. And then in the merch, we continue to make enhancements on that place, and thanks to Tony Murchie for his generous contribution. So there's a lot of things that are happening within the athletics department, and all the hope is to get in better recruits, to get the football players we have now to perform better, practice and train and compete at a higher level, and win a championship for UB.
All right, your busy time of the year is just, if it's not already here, it's coming.
It's already here.
It's
already here.
That's Bulls Athletic Director Alan Green, and we thank him for joining us here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Much more coming up on UB Football Insider, including a conversation with Mid-American Conference Commissioner John Steinbrecher. That is next.
Buffalo sports fans, get to UB Stadium this fall for tailgating, live music, and great UB football action. Where else can you see hard hits, thrilling catches, and enjoy live music by national recording acts like Jana Kramer, Gin Blossoms, Better Than Ezra, and more? Bring the whole family and come cheer on the Bulls this season. For tickets and more information, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
Well, welcome back to UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold as we continue here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and we are pleased to be joined by Mid-American Conference Commissioner John Steinbrecher for our annual visit. Always good to see you, and particularly exciting to see you here in this venue. Take everybody into the decision that went into moving the annual MAC Media Day here, and at least at this point, it seems like it's been a hit.
You know, when David Baker came in as the new president of the Hall of Fame, he had reached out and just said, we want to build as many bridges and strengthen the relationships between the conference and the Hall of Fame whenever possible. So if we can ever be a part of the things you are doing, let us know. Ford Field is under renovation this summer, and facility wasn't available, and we thought what a neat opportunity it would be to bring it here to Canton, come here and utilize all the facilities at the Hall of Fame, and then some of the things, coincidental or otherwise, that made it really unique. We have Jason Taylor, former Akron Zip, first ballot Hall of Famer, is going to be inducted in another week. Well, we were able to bring him in. He spent all of the day before today's activities with our students. What a great role model for the kids and a neat opportunity for them. Todd Blackledge came in from ABC Sports, former first-round draft choice and Penn State player. It's facilitated some neat opportunities for our kids and for those in attendance. This is, if you're a football fan, you can't help but get really geeked up.
Absolutely.
Wandering through here.
Well, and in addition to obviously Jason Taylor, there's a lot of MAC references in this building from the other MAC Hall of Famer, Jack Lambert, the great Pittsburgh Steeler, linebacker from Kent State. But even when you go to the current player section, obviously from our perspective, there's plenty of Khalil Mack in there, but Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown. And you know, the MAC is all over the NFL. We know that. What does that make you, what kind of reaction do you get from that?
You know what, there's kind of this old saying is you are what the score says you are. It's a little bit like that. We're pretty darn good. And the proof is in the pudding, and you look at the players we're putting out. And again, I think if you look over the evolution of the league over the past 10 plus years, as we've been able to increase the national recognition, the national exposure for our programs, what it's allowed in terms of recruiting, more high profile, better players, et cetera, it translates all up and down the food chain. And so now we look today, we have a Khalil Mack, who's now, the NFL Network came out with their top 100 players in the NFL. He's number 5. The MAC was the only team with 2 players in the top 5. So again, we've got a lot of really good players, and I think as you look over the next 10 years, you're going to see a wave of MAC players who will be inducted into this place.
Last year was a banner year for the conference. Obviously, Western Michigan and their undefeated regular season ranked almost the whole year. They get to play in the Cotton Bowl. What did that mean for the notoriety level of the conference to have the Broncos pull off that kind of season?
Anytime you have one or more teams who do very well, who are garnering national attention, it lifts all the boats. Plain and simple. It brings you a lot more attention. I think there's kind of an extra oomph in everybody's step because of it. It just brings more notoriety, and it seems like each game has more importance. And so every game becomes really important. Just think of the national attention that was on the Buffalo at Western Michigan game.
That's right. College game day.
College game day, a national telecast, all those sorts of things. It really, really is a shot in the arm.
Right, and real quickly as we wrap up with Commissioner John Steinbrecher, a couple of things for fans to watch during games this year. You're going to try to speed them up a little bit.
Yeah, we are. Half times we're going to keep them to 20 minutes. We expect when we come back from halftime and that clock hits 0, we expect to be handing the ball to the kicker and saying, let's kick it. We're going to get the ball set quicker after plays, those types of things, administer penalties quicker. And another thing we're going to do at a number of stadiums where we're able to do it is have an in-stadium TV timeout clock. So if it's a 2:30 break, we'll put it up on the clock. Everybody in the stands knows how much time they have. We hit 0, we're going.
Less time for me to talk, but I won't hold that against you, Commissioner. John Steinbrecher, the Commissioner of MAC, thank you for joining us very much. It's been a great couple of days here as part of MAC Media Day. We thank you for joining us for this special edition of UB Football Insider from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. We go deep behind the scenes of UB Bulls training camp. That's next week, right here on UB Football Insider.